There we go.
Good morning and welcome to the Fire Committee for the Village of Point Edward for Tuesday, June the 13th. I'd like to call the meeting to order this time and see if there's any declaration of pecuniary interest.
None known, so
Thank you.
find out already.
We have no delegations, the circulation of the prior meeting minutes. Mary Ann, do you have any questions or comments?
No, I did not.
Same here, so we'll recommend that they be received. Approved. No business arising, ongoing tasks. Were you able to
I
get
don't
that?
think there was anything in the fire,
Okay.
but yeah, we're having trouble with that system. So
Joint Health and Safety Committee report for the fire hall. I see nothing outstanding.
Looks
Or I guess, since there's nothing that's outstanding.
Yeah, yeah.
You're welcome.
It's more than looks good. It was perfect. So how's that record? It was perfect.
I'll take it. We'll receive and file the health and safety report. The fire department monthly report. Yeah, I was just gonna say at the top, I forgot. So I'm chairing the committee until such time as we replace Councillor Drury, who resigned, in case anybody's wondering why I'm here. So, and segue to that, Chief McKenzie's on vacation, so Deputy Chief McGregor will do the fire monthly report.
All right, so a report from last month, the replacement of the fire engine update. I don't know if we can leave that till new business and talk about that. We did have a couple of changes in staff. We had two members that have left the department. One took a leave of absence and the other one's gone on a work term in Western Canada. At a fire department actually that does a work program. So it'd be interesting to hear from him and see how that goes, but fair amount of training last month. See below there. Our regular Monday night training, but we also did two additional trainings. We did the SADS exercise, which is the along with industry. So we sent one of our units out there and worked along with industries for that. And then we did a scenario at the Blue Water Bridge for some training with them during EP week. Calls for service. We were pretty light last month, so nothing outstanding there. No major fires or anything to report. Community relations. We were busy with drop-in for whatever reason. We had a lot of people drop in for fire hall tours. We participated with Bridgeview School. They had reached out to us and asked us if we would work along with their 5-6 class and do a science project. So we utilized Ladder 2 in their science project to help drop their creations. They were working on the moon lunar vehicles that they dropped there. So it was kind of neat to work along with them. They were pretty excited about it. So actually sent us a thank you letter, but they actually want to come to the fire hall and present us with something next week. So it'd be interesting to see what they've built for us.
Maybe all the dropped lunar modules.
Everything that broke. The Blue Water Anglers, they had reached out and asked us to participate in the Learn to Fish Day, which we do every year. So we had quite a few members. We had 13 members. We were there for about 5 hours. We did some public education and the fire truck tours. And we had a beautiful day for it. So that worked out well. Fire inspections. So we actually did a walkthrough meeting with some of the staff from the church for Grand Hall because they want to look at getting an occupant load calculation and some approvals for renting out that hall in the future to generate some revenue for the church. So we were over there a few times, did our fire inspection for the Quality Inn. So we've got some follow-up stuff to do with them. We did the Sunbridge, but only the occupied areas. We didn't venture into the construction part. I mean, we have been in the construction part. We've been doing that with the building department, but this particular inspection was strictly just for the occupied spaces. We did have a meeting with the condo corporation and the construction company regarding the new build at 1540. So there was some concern with the owners of 1550 and the developer. So hopefully we've come up with a suitable solution for entrance and egress out of that property for fire trucks and for occupants. And then we've done another couple of chip truck inspections that are being utilized at a local business. So they're transients, they come in, they put up for the weekend, sell and then leave again. So we've been doing more and more chip trucks because the local brewery's been using them. Claudio's community emergency management. He's attended the county CEMC meeting, he does his care meeting, and they're still just finalizing their drinking water emergency exercise, which is going to double up as our required exercise this year. We've been working along again with the building department quite a bit at the Sunbridge. She also came and consulted with us at Brant Hall. Again, we had quite a few meetings with the Blue Water Bridge regarding their emergency exercise. It was a simulated break fire on a transport truck. And then we participated in the exercise and then a debrief after that to identify some strengths and weaknesses. And then the EM guy over there is going to prepare a final report and then he's going to ask us to consult on it. As far as the building's concerned, nothing on the interior to report, just the ongoing roof issues. The heat air unit. Contractors are in to evaluate that and provide a quote to Jim. And then our air unit on the fire hall, the last couple of years has been needed to be recharged. So we've had them in to recharge it this year and see if it holds up again for the summer months. As far as our vehicles are concerned, all the vehicles are in working order at this time. And we're working with E1 and 1200 degrees, which is their rep for this area, to finalize a spec on the new engine. Truck commitment needs to be completed very soon as additional increases are pending, and we can talk about that in new business. Health and safety, nothing to report there. All inspections have been completed by staff and the training that's outlined by the health and safety coordinators have been completed. Nothing to talk about on the security side. Capital budgets stuff, excuse me. We finally got delivery on some of the helmets that we had ordered a while ago, and then we've been following up with our hose supplier. And I guess there's a huge issue with raw materials still. So the hose that we ordered last November, I asked for an update and they can't give me an update, so we may have to look at alternative suppliers for hose, because there's no date pending when we're going to get that material. Community feedback, just the thank you letter from Bridgeview School and a thank you letter from Gregory Hogan School. Excuse me. Closing comments, just the members that attended the SADS exercise out in St. Clair. Chief and I attended quarterly fire chiefs, Lambton County Fire Chiefs Association meeting. We had met with, we had a face-to-face meeting with Paul from E1 regarding final designs and obtaining a price for the replacement engine. We attended the strategic planning meetings, and we had the first half volunteer point pay was calculated and submitted for payment. That's the report.
Thank you. Mary Ann, any questions?
Yeah, so I just have a couple things. So the Blue Water Anglers, that was a really good turnout. I think that was even more presence than there was the year before, which was good,
Yeah.
but even more this year.
Yeah.
And it was a perfect day for that activity. So it was a thank you to everybody that gave up 5 hours on a Saturday. Just to note that there's a new principal coming at Bridgeview in September, so the fire department could reach out, after she gets here and make yourselves known. And
So I did speak to the school. They did make me aware,
Okay.
but they haven't announced who it is yet.
I can't remember her name.
Oh, they did announce it?
Yeah, Megan
Yeah.
Moss.
Oh, okay.
She's
Coming from Pauline Gibbon.
No, Queen Elizabeth.
Oh, that's different note than I got.
Oh, is it?
When I was in last week, they didn't have a name yet because it hadn't
Okay.
been announced, but. So yeah, we will reach out to her. We've had pretty good buy-in from Bridgeview all over the years, you know,
Yeah.
for allowing us.
I just thought that was really, really good onboarding is to, you get somebody new and then you guys and then find out what you have to offer.
Yeah.
Could we get an update? I'm not understanding, with all the questions that are being raised about the library. Could I get a synopsis of what's
Yeah.
happening there?
We have a meeting, we've selected a contractor. And we're meeting with them there on Thursday to talk about how we'll have the HVAC contractor work with them. Because of that work should all be done at the same time. And so we're meeting with them on Thursday
So
morning.
they do have to do both, the roof and the HVAC.
Yep.
Because at one time there was thought that it wasn't the roof, it was the HVAC that was causing leaking.
There are,
I mean, there's been a lot of scenarios, but
Yeah.
that's been confusing.
there is some question about whether the roof, they don't know for sure where the leaks are coming from.
Okay,
But the solution is to fix everything.
so that should be underway in,
We'll find out more on Thursday.
Thursday,
That'll be
okay.
part of, I think the holdup, I believe, will be HVAC contractors. And whether they can get the units, the rooftop units right away or not.
Anything else?
just one more question.
I was on the roof. You sure it's on the roof?
No, go ahead and I'll
Yeah,
finish that. I have
okay,
another
thank you.
question.
The decision to turn the lights off and limit access, was that a county decision, our decision? And why?
I would have to follow up on that. I wasn't. If I was aware of it at the time it happened, I don't remember it, so I'll have to do some follow-up on that. When I saw that somewhere yesterday, I saw that the upper section had been closed down and I wasn't aware of that.
Because it makes it, with it closed, it makes it seem like the flooding is worse. And like, if it's a safety issue up there with electrical and that, or,
Yeah.
do you know anything about it, Rick? Why they've shut down the top floor and
I
they
would-
don't allow any people up there, the lights are all turned off and,
I wasn't aware that the upper floor was shut down, to be honest.
And I think they made that decision themselves. And what's disappointing is there was no discussion with us.
yes.
Like,
Not that I recall anyway. I mean,
Yeah.
I have to look
Well,
back in records
I
and
was-
see, but
I didn't know it was closed. I've been in there, but I've only been on the main floor.
Yeah, yeah. Because I see it's making it seem like there's water flowing everywhere. Like why else would you close
right.
it down? And I say, that's just about the school. I
Yeah,
said,
no, it went twice.
oh, did, okay. Yeah, so that's what makes it seem like it's in a much dire situation than what it may possibly be. So,
I just feel there was a communication gap. I
Yeah.
think that they made a decision for some reason. Maybe they thought it was an issue for their staff and they made that decision, but typically I would think you would have talked to the building owners.
because I was under the impression we made some repairs, we minimized the leaking and the impact, and that only during super heavy rains do we get some water, and that it's not like it's a gaping hole in the roof that
Right.
that people are bucketing water over there. So I've just asked them if they truly need to go to this
Yeah,
extreme based on the water that's getting in there occasionally. Because that's my understanding of how
Yeah.
the situation we're in.
There's been contractors in to look at the roof on 2 or 3
Yeah.
occasions at least.
I know there were a bunch 2 weeks ago where they're not.
We've had a number of repairs done, like we've repaired the drains on the roof in that area. Because they thought that was the culprit, and then we had to back in again to replace that same drain. Or to fix that same drain, because the first time they did a portion of it, then the next time they came in, they did the entire thing. Then we had the roof contractor come in. He kind of came in and looked at it. Wasn't able to find where the leak was coming from. And then I think that's where the idea that maybe it's coming from the HVAC unit, or not coming from the HVAC unit, but coming from the piping on the
Right,
HVAC
okay.
unit.
I've talked about
The duct
piping.
work.
The
Yeah.
ductwork, so the ductwork is original to the building, or certainly original to that roof. Yeah, we've had them in a number of times to look at not only their side, but our side. They haven't been able to figure it out.
I just wanted to stress that people are making it sound like there was 10 months of no activity. And that we let it go like that, and that's not the case. It would never be the case. It's been a complex problem and there's been issues getting people in and then getting people to agree on what the fix is, so it wasn't. it
No,
was-
it's not from lack of
Right,
calling people to come in and try it.
Right.
right,
look at
but
it.
that's the point I wanted to make, because other people are saying differently.
No, we've had a number of contractors that come and try to evaluate it and come look at it and make repairs.
Mhm.
It's like we had the plumbing guys in. Doug would know better than I, but 2, if not 3 times for sure.
At expense too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Certainly, yeah. I mean, we could look it back up from the invoices, but. And then, of course, we've had multiple roofing contractors come in and look at it. I think the last one, Galloway's come in and did an evaluation and looked at it, and I think that's who we're meeting with on
Yeah.
Thursday,
Mhm.
Okay,
not from lack of trying.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and can you just, when you've talked to the library people, just report back to us by
Sure.
email on what's happened there, like with the closure, and is it necessary as an ongoing closure, or can we, even if open up parts of the floor or whatever, it's,
Well, you'll have a better sense after the meeting on Thursday with Galloway's on whether that's proven or not.
yeah, if you're on site on Thursday, maybe
Yeah.
that can come up at that
Yeah.
time, and you can maybe even get Galloway's opinion on whether we need to be going to this extreme
Mhm.
as far as the issues.
And the other question I had, and I'm sure you've done this, I just have to ask, the hose. Have you talked to any other fire departments about, are they having the same issue with getting hoses, or they may have an alternative supplier?
Yeah, I haven't actually talked to other fire departments.
Yeah.
I've talked to other suppliers. Hose can be complicated, based on materials, construction, friction loss, the way they do their manufacturing. So we've had this one type of hose that we bought for the last number of
Mhm.
years. And we'd like to stay with it, but in saying that, if we can't get it,
Mm.
doesn't, so we're gonna look to, I've actually talked to the vendor that we buy from. And he represents multiple hose companies, so I've asked him to, find us a hose that's similar in characteristics as far as, friction coefficients and that kind of stuff. And come up with an option to see if there's other vendors, like other hose manufacturers that can get us delivery on stuff. So.
I appreciate it. It's just a weird one. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah,
How
it's
how did
fun.
COVID affect like
Raw, they say it's raw materials.
raw materials? And
Yeah.
I think
so-
everything just gets blamed now.
Yeah,
And I know that like paint, for instance, I guess paint is a real issue.
Oh.
If you're looking for specialty metal
Yeah.
paints and stuff like that. Access to those is very difficult. It seems to be odd things like
Yeah.
dog food, for instance, like if you want a certain type of dog food. I went to order dog food for my dog the other day and it's on back order. Like I never heard of back
Yeah.
order dog food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay, well, I
I mean,
appreciate that.
we're
Just
we're
curious.
on it. It's just,
Yeah.
yeah.
I know you are. I'm just curious on some of these odd things.
when I
Thank you.
initially saw the price of 6 helmets, I thought, wow, but then I thought it's only about $600 a helmet.
600. Yeah.
Yeah, which isn't bad, like, but first when I saw $4,000, I thought, well, what are we buying? But then I thought,
Gold plated.
yeah, but that seems fair for
Yeah.
the quality and the protection they provide, so.
Yeah, so they're about $587 a helmet plus the tax.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a 10-year,
I was gonna say, what's the
Yeah,
life?
it's
10
10
year,
years?
10 year life, right?
it's 10-year lifespan on all the PPE.
So 10 divided into 600.
It's $5 a month.
So the only thing that we don't get 10 years out of typically is boots and gloves.
Mhm.
They tend to wear out quicker, but they all have a 10-year lifespan.
Thank you.
Anything else in from the chief's report, Mary Ann?
No.
So, Deputy McGregor wanted to discuss the engine replacement under new business. Quickly or
So
Lonely, I don't care.
So in the last meeting, the chief got direction to sole source with E1, which we did. We'd already had partials. Well, we had a spec from them. It wasn't exactly what we were looking for. So we had Paul come down from E1. We talked about some of the things that we wanted to change on the initial spec that he had given us. There wasn't going to be any cost related issues. It was more of a design phase. We want to lower the hose bed in the back for ergonomics, the safety of the firefighters. So if we drop the bed in the back, make it easier to pull hose and load hose. That way they're not, 8 feet in the air trying to load hose. And a few other things like that. So we've got that. He sent that off to engineering, where the problem comes in. And it's It's not a sales pitch, it's just reality. June 1st, they came out with a 4.5% increase. As well as Cummings, which is the big engine dealer for these trucks, has discontinued what they call their L9 engine and transmission. And they've replacing it with an they call an X12. So more horsepower, more environmental components to it. Something we don't need, it's heavier. We don't need the X12. We want the L9. But the problem is Cummings basically said, we're shutting down production. So Paul's gone to E1, pled his case saying, you know, I've been working with this vendor. We're close. Can you put an L9 aside for this build? As well as, you know, I've been working with this vendor for a while. Can you waive the 4.5% increase, the June increase? So as of yesterday, talked to Paul, he's done those two things, but it's very time sensitive. If we don't commit within a certain period of time, within a week or a week and a half, then we're going to lose the 4.5 and we're going to lose the L9. By losing the L9, it's not only more expensive, it's about $75,000 to $80,000 increase for the motor and transmission, as well as they have to redesign the front end components because the motor is heavier. So there's some redesign there. And we end up losing some leg room inside the cab of the truck because the motor is bigger. So we can't go with a low profile doghouse on the interior of the truck. So we end up losing space inside the truck. So there's some significant things. I'm waiting to see. We went through the canoe procurement process. Jim gave us the number. We gave it to them. They do their thing on their end. I'm not sure what it looks like. He was hoping to have it back by today. As soon as I get it, I will forward it to Jim. I'm going to meet with the chief tomorrow. He's coming to town tomorrow, so I'll meet with him and give him the information that I have. And then I guess it's in your capable hands at that point.
So I just have a question. At the last committee meeting, we directed the fire department to sole source E1. We have a budget. Does this need to come to committee and council? Like,
I think it's more for
That's what
information
I was hoping
because
so.
it's gonna be $1 million plus.
Yeah, but I mean,
expenditure.
they should be able to commit to this purchase.
I think
and-
that's just one to
Yeah.
confirm that that's.
Okay,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah, so we're good with it. Yeah.
So the
Well-
canoe issue, are they searching the same truck?
So from what I understand,
For
like
competitive?
we've never used Canoe
Yeah,
before, but
right.
from what I understand, what Canoe has some agreements with all these manufacturers. And they, however their process works, they guarantee the best price.
Excuse me.
Even though you've been dealing with the 1200 guy.
Yeah.
So how do they do that? I wonder. Like, is this gonna affect your relationship with the sales rep from 1200 who's
No,
done all this work for you?
no, because what they,
That's who was asking for the. canoe,
that's who
isn't
was
it?
asking.
Oh.
for, yeah.
Like they're suggesting, make sure are you a
Well,
member of canoe?
Yeah,
Oh.
once we decide, or once
Right.
council gave the direction for a sole source. When we talked to Paul, he has no problem with that because it doesn't affect his commission. I guess.
Okay,
What it
Getting the
does,
truck sold
it's at the
regardless.
higher level, it's at the E1 level,
right.
so they must discount it to 1200 gets there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how those numbers look or work.
Or they discount it to canoe. Or someone, yeah, anyways.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's. By the information he gave us was that by using the canoe, he cannot. Give us a better price than them.
Oh,
Canoe
okay.
gets a better price
Okay.
because of, I guess, the volume that
Yeah.
they do. I'm not sure how Canoe gets paid. It seems to be a mystery to me, but I mean, I haven't dove into it either, but
But it doesn't affect his commission or his anything.
no,
He's
he's
still your rep.
he's still our rep and service wise, everything's the same. Because we did ask that question, like, is this gonna affect our relationship with you?
Yeah,
Because this is a 25-year or 20-year truck for us, you know. 27, you know, so we have to have a long-standing relationship with the vendor. And he's like, no, it doesn't affect our relationship at all. It
you know, for, at the end of the day, for my paycheck, or, you know, which is what he's after. It doesn't affect it at all, so I think it's at a higher level that they discount. That must be.
So is the intent tomorrow when the chief, you meet, that you're gonna pull the trigger and do the purchase order?
Well, I'm hoping to have the canoe contract. I'll touch base with Paul again today and see if he got it. He's supposed to forward it to us as soon as he gets it. He thought he was gonna have it back last Friday, but he didn't. So whatever the holdup is on the canoe side.
We were hoping to have numbers to share with council, like,
That's
this. I mean, you're right, approval's been given, but with kind of rough estimates, and we'd like to have, that's the information we're hoping to have.
Because
And we
initially,
thought we have it for tomorrow for tomorrow night's council.
And I'm just trying to,
share it.
I just want to reinforce that. We don't want, with them being a moving target, with the pricing and everything and all this new engine stuff, that I just don't want to have anything delayed by waiting to report to council. I think you've got a green light. Sounds like you're doing all the proper due diligence on pricing and specs. So I have all the confidence in the world that you're looking after our money and getting the right
We
assets.
went through the same thing when we bought the last truck.
Yeah.
With those jacking around with those increases.
Yeah.
And, I did have a question though, if they, they're not gonna make that whatever,
L9, yeah.
L9 engine anymore.
Mhm.
Is that a problem for long-term viability as far as
Servicing.
servicing? Like, I just think about the issue we ran into at Environmental Services where they changed the equipment. Now we couldn't get parts.
No, I think the L9 is a very successful platform.
Okay,
It's in a lot of the highway
Yeah.
tractors.
so no concern about long-term.
No, I think it's more of a concern for us to go to the X12. Because of the added environmental.
No, I get-
Components.
I get that part, just as long as we can, if they don't make it, as long as they maintain it, then we don't have an issue.
Yeah, no, they would support that engine
Okay.
for at least.
Because there's so many of them
so
out
many.
there.
Yeah.
That you might even become aftermarket stuff if.
Yeah.
You know, like people will start making components and parts.
And the other thing is, Cummings got a long-standing history of building good equipment, but, when you get the first production year of a new engine.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we're hard on our trucks, but our trucks are sporadic, like they don't get driven every day.
Yeah.
And they're not like a highway tractor where they're, on the highways for steady periods of time, they're started up. go
You don't have big distances to travel
No.
typically.
Yes, you don't need that X12 with all those extra horsepower and,
The problem is there's no other option.
yeah, I know, yeah. Yeah, they don't make a small department engine truck, yeah. Okay,
Okay, well, you're narrowing in on decisions anyway.
And the timeline is still 18 to 24 months of delivery, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's why I changed it to 27 months.
Yeah. Well, it's surprising to me, like, and it's, I don't know, an industry thing, but for Cummings to discontinue the L9, I get, I understand that they're being pushed to make them more environmentally sound, but to add $75,000 to $80,000 to an engine,
Just.
yeah, and he told me that, there's nothing they can do, there's nothing E1 can do, because that's just a plug and play item for them.
Mhm.
But it is what it is.
You would think whoever's pushing the environmental, and I fully support it, but would be able to make an exception for fire trucks, because they don't, like you say, it's not like they're running from here to California and back
Mhm.
spewing diesel fumes. They're used when they're needed. Otherwise, they park in a garage, not emitting any fumes,
Mhm.
and that there could be an exception where they could be done at a lower price and without but it is what it is.
Well, thanks, Rick, for bringing it all forward.
Yes, thank you very much. Anything else under new business then, Mary Ann?
No.
Okay.
can't-
I wonder if we should just give a bit of an update on the open burn bylaw.
Okay.
That council has met last week with the lawyer. There's two outstanding issues that we're going to discuss at tomorrow night's council meeting, just to get absolute final, and then we'll be mailing it out to the public on the Thursday through constant contact and posting to our Facebook and website. And then council will be considering the bylaw on the 27th of June.
And on that topic, will we be lifting our ban today?
Yeah, wrote that down.
I think That's
Sarnia is the
Sarnia did yesterday, I think, so, yeah.
Okay.
Rick and I talked a little bit about it yesterday, but I think.
Because it was raining, we weren't too worried about it.
Yeah.
Well, the first rain and everything's canceled, so I guess they figure they got enough.
I think, but this ban was more for the air.
Yeah, it was more of an
No,
air
I
side.
thought it was
grass.
also because of dryness.
No, the air's cleared up.
It was based on the air quality
Yeah.
from the forest fires
Okay.
coming in.
Yeah, but the grass was
Yes,
a secondary concern for sure, yeah. Okay, the fire department monthly financial statement, any questions or comments, Mary?
None for me.
Okay, so we'll receive and file that as well. Next meeting date for this committee will be held on July the 11th at 8:30 in the morning. And we'll just do a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you.